Welcome back guys, and in this video we're going to create our very first Go program. The very first thing we need to do to create our Go program is open an empty folder in VS Code. It's a good practice for every Go program you create to be in its own folder. So to do this, we're going to go to the top left of our screen where it says File right here. Then we're going to go down and press Open Folder. Now I'm just going to go to my desktop and press New Folder. And now I'll just name my folder Tutorial 2. And then I'm going to press Create. And by the way guys, you can actually save your folder anywhere and name it anything you want. So now that I have my folder, I'm just going to go ahead and press this Open button right here. So on the left of our screen right here, we have the Explorer. And if you don't see this window or it disappears, you can press View at the top of your screen right here and then press Explorer and it will come back. Now in the Explorer, I'm just going to right click and press New File. And I'm going to name the file main.go. And now I'm just going to hit enter. And all Go files end with .go. You don't have to use the name main, but it's conventional to name the entry point of your Go program main. And as you guys can see, the main.go file opened up right here in the middle of our screen. So this panel is where we'll actually be writing our code. So now I'm going to copy and paste some Go code I already wrote. And guys, for every video in this series, you can find the code in the description. So this code right here doesn't actually do anything on its own. It's basically just the outline for our program. Most if not all programs we code in this series are going to start like this. We're going to make our program do something really amazing, but first I'm going to break down the code right here line by line. So the first line of code says package main, and a package is just a group of files. Packages help us to organize our code. So this code right here is telling Go that this file is part of a package named main. We could actually name the package anything we wanted, but there's a reason why we name it main. And that's because the main package is treated differently than other packages. When you run a Go program, the code inside the main package is executed. This means that if we name our package something other than main, we wouldn't be able to execute its code directly. The next line of code says func main, and func stands for function. A function is just a piece of code made to perform a specific task. And we'll actually be covering functions in depth later in this series. So as I said earlier, the code in the main package is executed when we run our program. But more specifically, the code within the main function of the main package is executed. It might sound complicated, but all you need to know for now is that when we run this program, the code in the main function right here is going to be executed. And these two curly brackets signify the start and end of our function. So the function is going to start at the open curly bracket and end at the closed curly bracket. So now that I've explained what this code does, let's make our program print a message to the screen. To do this, we're going to make use of what's known as the Go standard library. And the Go standard library is just a bunch of pre-written code that comes with Go. It has a bunch of packages that we can use to do common tasks in our program. It might sound complicated, but trust me, it's going to be simple once we start using them. So in our case, we want to print something to the screen. And we can use the FMT package from the Go standard library to help us do this. But before we can use the FMT package in our code, we basically need to bring it into our program. This is what's known as importing a package. So to import a package, the first thing we have to do is go right here below where we have package main, and we're just going to type import. Then I'm going to put a space and quotation marks. Now we're going to put the name of the package we want to import in between the quotation marks. So I'm just going to put FMT since we want to use the FMT package. Now let's use the FMT package to print a message to the screen. So I'm just going to go down here inside the main function and type in fmt.println. Now I'm just going to put an open and close bracket. And then in between that, I'm just going to put quotation marks. And then in between the quotation marks, I'm just going to put hello world. And this code is saying we want to use the println or printline function from the FMT package. We then give the function the message we want to print by putting it between the two brackets. It's also important we put our message between two quotation marks, but you'll learn why in the next video. Now that we're done writing our program, let's run it and see what happens. So before you run your code, you always want to make sure the changes you made are saved. If you have a white dot right here like this, it means that the file has unsaved changes. So to save the code, you can press File in the top left right here and then press Save. Constantly clicking File then Save can take up a lot of time, so we can just use the shortcut Command and S on Mac or Control and S on Windows to save. So to run our code, the first thing we need to do is open up the terminal. So I'm just going to press View right here at the top of my screen, and then I'm going to go down to where it says Terminal and just press that. And now to run our code, all we have to do is type go, run, and then the name of the file we want to run, which is main.go in this case. So I'm just going to type main.go. Now I'm going to hit enter, and as you can see, our code printed out hello world in the console. So the last thing I'm going to be showing you guys in this video is comments. A comment is just code in our file that isn't executed. And comments are useful since they allow us to write notes or explanation in our code without affecting our code's functionality. So let me go ahead and show you what I mean. So I'm just going to add another line to our code that prints like and sub. So I'm just going to type in fmt youtube.println like and sub. And now I'm just going to save the code and run it. And as you can see, like and sub was also printed out to the console. But now let's make the line of code that prints like and sub into a comment. So to do this, I'm going to put / at the start of the line. So right here, I'm just going to put 2 slashes. And now the code in this line after the 2 slashes is a comment. So now let's save and run our code again, and as you can see, like and sub is no longer being printed out to the console. Also, we don't have to put the comments at the start of the line. Let's move the 2 slashes from the start of this line right here and put them at the end. And I'm just going to type this as a comment. Now if we save and run the code again, as you can see, like and sub is printed out to the console this time since it's only the text after the double slashes being ignored. I just showed you single line comments, but now I'm going to show you multi-line comments. So as you guys can see, I added a third print line to our code. So to make a multi-line comment, you want to type / and then put an asterisk where you want the comment to start. And now I'm going to go down right here and type in */. And this */ represents where we want the comment to end. So now if we save and run the code again, as you can see, only one print line is being executed. And that's because the other 2 are inside of our comment. So now you know about single and multi-line comments, but there's actually one more type of comments, and that's YouTube comments. I'd really appreciate if you leave a comment on this video and then like and subscribe so you don't miss any new videos.